oh, let's just have a little fun. This is the studio, our couch.
Welcome to the studio, our makeshift studio, yes.
Yeah, we do charge by the hour for the studio, if you want to film here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But yeah, let's get right into it.
Hello and welcome to the Millennial Prescription. Thank you for clocking in for your shift today. I'm your host, Christelle, and we're a husband and wife podcast.
Yes, we are.
And we're happy to have you here today. So this is actually the first episode of a 5-episode podcast where we go through some nostalgia. We make some comparisons between millennial.
Couple apples falling off. Jeez.
The fruit basket. Those are our paid actors.
Distraction.
We make some comparisons between things that millennials do differently from maybe some boomers as well as the Gen Z. So we'll probably call this series the Nostalgia series.
Yes.
So the topic or the situation for this particular episode is actually work ethic and career mindset. So the differences between how we might pursue or perceive work and career versus Gen Z and boomers.
Yes. I mean, for us, we've both been working since we were 16.
Yeah.
And I feel like we were just always taught, no matter what job it is, you got to do it really well.
Yeah.
So when I was working at the movie theater, I was the best damn cashier there ever was. I tell you what, I could scoop that popcorn like no one's business.
I mean, I look back on it now, and like you said, we started working at around 16. I was so excited to get my driver's permit for the sole purpose of getting my job at 16. And I look back at that now and I'm like, why did I do that to myself? Because then I didn't stop working until, I had my first daughter actually, which was around 30.
Yeah, which might have been a long time ago, but we're not going to tell anybody that.
33. Yeah.
But the reality of it was, I don't know why I worked so hard at all those odd jobs I did.
And we gave it our all. My first job. Well, I worked, oh my gosh, I think my very first job, retail job, was retail. They don't exist anymore. It was called 579.
No, I don't even know what that is.
They don't exist anymore. But yeah, I was basically like a greeter there, and I'm pretty sure I was the best damn greeter they had.
Yeah, well, my retirement plan is to be a greeter at Walmart. So
hey,
you already got it going.
It's an honest job.
You got experience there. But
it's on my resume.
Yeah. No, I know. The 10 or 11 years before I became a nurse, all the jobs I did, it just took it way too seriously.
Yeah.
For the pay I was getting, which Gen Zers know nothing about that, because 11 years of work and minimum wage is higher than I got paid before I became a nurse.
Right.
So now they start out higher than I ever made until I became a nurse.
I thought I was making money at
it felt good.
$7.25 an hour.
Yeah. $6.75. That's how old I am. My first job was $6.75.
Totally aging myself. Like everywhere I'm going to mention all these places I used to work, and they don't exist anymore.
It's true.
579, Babies R Us is not a thing anymore. That's actually where we met.
Yeah, that was a Brew Crew member.
Yes.
Some of the best times.
But we gave it our all. We did. I guess what we're trying to say is we were very much in customer service. So when we receive customer service now, there's a difference. So
that's the work ethic side of it. So there was such an emphasis on customer service when we were growing up.
Right.
And now it just feels like
I take it so personally. Like if I'm standing in line and I know that I'm the next person in line, and that person doesn't say oh, how can I help you? Or next guest in line, please. I don't get anything like that. They just look at me blank. And I'm sitting here staring at them right back are you going to invite me to come up? Because I am a guest in this facility, in this store, in this coffee shop. Please make this inviting for me.
Yeah, if they're 10 to 15 years younger, they usually have a hard time even saying hello.
Yes.
Welcome. What can I do for you? It's a little bit harder, but that's because of the change. So there were no jobs when we were younger that didn't involve customer service.
Right.
And nowadays, you can do DoorDash. You could do so many things where you never even have to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
That face-to-face contact is not a normal thing, in my opinion.
Well, yeah.
for the next generation.
And I think social media has also played a big
absolutely.
role in not having to talk to somebody or answer that phone. Like,
Right.
you know, I'm not even going to lie. Sometimes I struggle answering that phone.
I don't like answering my phone.
I don't like answering my phone.
Nowadays.
So that is a thing.
But, I mean, let me just chime in here too. So we've talked about millennials and then Gen Z, how I think they lack customer service because of the lack of face-to-face interaction.
Yeah.
But let's just talk about the boomers, okay? So my dad worked, you know, or the boomers I know, they all were able to stay at one job forever.
Yeah.
Like they just grew with the company. They would stay there 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever, and that was their job. They didn't have to, you know, bounce around.
Right.
You know, and that leads me into my next topic about,
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Well, I was to go on to that. I think because of our parents staying with the same job for decades, and you know, they pretty much start and then retire where they start. We're taught like, oh, you need to create this stable environment, so you have to find a stable job, and that's how you create this stable lifestyle. I don't know if that's necessarily as realistic for us, though,
right?
Because of the market and the way it looks. I mean, I think some ways Gen Z has it right. Like loyalty doesn't actually get you paid.
No, and that's true. And I learned that very much so during COVID, because I did the travel nursing. So it was very common for me to jump around jobs, and I was basically just chasing the jobs that were paying the most. So, you know, and that kind of taught me that, like, you know, if I would have just stayed at my job when it first started, I never would have made the same amount of money that I did doing the traveling and jumping around. So that made it really hard for me to finally commit to a job, you know, and but now I'm trying to get that stable back in place.
Right.
But I mean, that was after everything that had happened there. But Gen Z, they say that's what they do. They job hop, you know, and
they're more inclined to do things that might be more in the arena of like social influencer. I've learned that they like to do the door dashing thing and the Instacart drop shipping. A lot of the things that don't really require customer service, which is fine. Like customer service is actually really exhausting.
Yeah, I wish I could have done those jobs when I was their age.
Honestly, we talked about how
it would have been so much better.
Because we're both nurses. Obviously, he's the breadwinner, and so he's enmeshed in the whole nursing thing, but we always talk about how nice it would be to go back to doing what we used to do before we became nurses, because it's just not mind-numbing, but nobody's life is dependent upon you.
I just wish I could empty trucks all day.
You know, like it's just, if you're just enjoy it. If you're working as a host or just enjoy it.
Those were the days.
It's really nice to not, to make money, but just to make money to be like, oh, I just need to get my nails done. Not because I have to pay the mortgage or make the car note or anything like that. Yeah.
Mortgages are stupid.
Blessed to have a mortgage.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, very happy with that.
And then, well, we had said that millennials tend to stay at one job a lot of the time, which is generally the case. I'm very much that way. Like I find a comfortable place and I stick with it. He's not really like that, which is why travel nursing really kind of jived with his personality.
It was actually really good for me. Yeah.
He's not. I mean, it's crazy.
It's so sad to say, but I'm not
a camaraderie type of guy. Like
I'm not a loyalty to one job.
Don't invite me to your potlucks in the break room. Like that's him.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to bring anything because no one told me about it, so I'm not going to even eat it.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, because of the travel nursing, like I never stayed with one place.
Right.
I mean, I stayed with my first nursing job. I was with the same company for 4 years, but I had to get a second job so I could advance my career.
Right.
Because I needed to learn more stuff.
Right.
And then COVID happened. So then after that, it was like 4 years of, where am I going next? And now that everything is settled, I'm back to it. Back to a stable, not bouncing around anymore.
I think it's.
But I did do more of a Gen Z style.
If that's what we want to call it. I guess in some ways, like, because we're not really here to bash on Gen Z.
We're not.
Customer service for sure.
This is just what I've heard.
Let me say it.
The customer service sucks.
But I think in some ways there's a work-life balance and the mental health component of it. So Gen Z is all about protecting their mental health. And then I would say boomers, they weren't really like a work-life balance. They were like work because I want to provide for my kids, which definitely
there was
my
no
parents
mental
did.
health back then.
It didn't exist. Mental health, you tuck that shit in and you swallow it. Okay. There's no such thing as mental health.
Right.
And so for us, I think as millennials, we now recognize that there is a necessity for work-life balance and that there is a necessity to take care of your mental health, but we still struggle with disconnecting. Like, it doesn't change the fact that we were raised by boomers who expect like perfectionism and a hustle and being your best, not trying your best, being your best.
Yeah.
And so there's that hard disconnect, right? Like, oh yeah, I need my work-life balance, but you're just still going to give 150% to your work.
Yeah, like no matter what, the work ethic that was taught to us from the boomer generation was you should constantly be trying to move up.
Yeah.
You should be working hard enough to get recognized, and you should be
And then again, that
the
is
best one there. That's
loyalty to one company. If
Right,
you're thinking
that's
of
how you
moving
move.
up in an upward emotion,
Right.
you're thinking of staying there for a long time.
Right, which I'm hopefully going to do in the future. You know, we'll see.
Yeah. I think the goal is entrepreneurial, though.
I still think the ultimate goal is, you know, and that's so much more lucrative.
I agree. And what you're looking for is financial freedom, which
Exactly.
financial freedom looks like freedom of your time,
Yeah.
all those things.
So what is one recommendation you're going to have for our children when they get to the age where they're working or where they're deciding on a career? What's your recommendation, or would you encourage them to do or be like?
Sure. I think my recommendation for them would be to find what they truly are passionate about and really and truly enjoy. I don't think, pause, yes.
Yeah, but
We're recording a podcast.
yeah. Go back to your room.
We'll see you in an hour. Okay.
No, I'll come over there. We'll come over there and talk to you in just a minute. Okay, go back
We're
to your room.
almost done.
Yep, go back to your room, baby.
Anyway, so my recommendation for my kids, and it sounds super cliche, would be to find something that they're really passionate about and make it into something entrepreneurial. I think that's where it is, and we would definitely invest in it. And we want them to have the freedom
that we may not achieve ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, the goal is for us to achieve that freedom or that, whatever venture we go into. But if they find something they really like and they want, then we want to support it, and we want to
invest in it. We don't want to deter
give them the
them.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
Because
I know I have a lot of strengths, but certainly I was pushed towards other things. And that's just parents looking for stability.
What other things were you pushed towards?
Nursing.
Is that a cultural thing?
It's definitely a Filipino thing. I'm not ashamed to say, right? Like, there's a lot of stereotypes for different cultures that, this is what you do for a living. I am Filipino, and I am indeed a registered nurse.
Yeah, no choice.
I did have a choice. I had a degree in kinesiology first.
That's okay. I had no degrees. I was just living life. Chilling.
What would be your recommendation for our children when they choose to enter the workforce or start thinking about their careers? Stripper.
But anyone following, if I were to start one, let me know below if you would follow.
He has the best feet for.
Oh,
Wait.
I do.
I think we're supposed to call it something else, like FO.
Only feet.
Only feet. Sounds like a promising app we should start.
I think so.
Lucrative if you are an app designer.
There we go. Let me
It
know.
is that.
I'll be the first foot subject.
That's why he has socks on. So, well, thank you for your recommendation.
Yeah. Just work hard. You'll get there.
Yes. Thank you guys for clocking in for your shift today. We will see you again next time. Hopefully you like this format. Let us know in the comments below. Also, let us know what you guys do for a living and what you guys do for work-life balance. See you next time.
Later.
Bye.